Hi guys and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be making Crock-Pot Jambalaya, which is one of my absolute all-time favorite Crock-Pot recipes. The link to this recipe will be in the description box down below. And if you don't want it as spicy, I suggest leaving the cayenne pepper out. I'm hungry, so let me stop talking and let's get started. The ingredients you're going to need for this super easy Crock-Pot Jambalaya are 1 pound of boneless, skinless chicken breast cut into 1-inch cubes, 1 pound of sliced andouille sausage, 1 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes with the juice, 1 large chopped onion and green pepper, 1 cup chopped celery, 1 cup of chicken broth, 2 teaspoons of oregano, dried parsley, and Cajun seasoning, ½ teaspoon of dried thyme, and 1 pound of frozen cooked shrimp. I'm going to start off with a Crock-Pot liner bag. I know that some people don't like to use these. I love using a Crock-Pot liner bag because it makes my life easier and makes cleanup super fast. So if you don't want to use one, I understand. But if you do want to use one, I recommend using it with this recipe. I'm going to start by chopping up 4 sticks of celery, and I actually like to chop them into bite-sized pieces so that it's easier to eat. Next, I'm going to take my green pepper and chop it into the same bite-sized pieces and add it into the Crock-Pot with the celery. And then again, do the same thing with the large onion. Now I'm going to add 1 cup of chicken broth. I like to use unsalted chicken broth. That way I can control the salt in this recipe. The spices I'm going to be adding are 2 teaspoons of dried oregano, 2 teaspoons of dried parsley, as well as 2 teaspoons of Cajun seasoning. I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I highly recommend leaving it out if you don't want your jambalaya spicy. And then lastly, I'm going to add a ½ teaspoon of dried thyme. Moving on to the meat, I'm going to use this Cajun style andouille sausage as well as some boneless, skinless chicken tenders. Of course, you can use chicken breast if you like. I just figured this would be easier for me to chop up. So I'm going to go ahead and slice my andouille sausage and slice them on a bias. You don't have to, it just looks better for presentation. And then I'm going to cut my chicken into 1-inch cubes and add them both to the Crock-Pot. After I washed my hands, I'm going to go ahead and add my 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes with the juice. And then make sure to give this a good stir. I think I stirred this all together for about 30 to 45 seconds just to make sure everything is well seasoned and combined. I've always cooked my jambalaya on low for 8 hours. Of course, you can cook it on high for about 3 to 4 hours, but I always like cooking any recipe on low. It's just my personal preference. The final step to this recipe is adding your 1 pound of frozen cooked shrimp. My store did not have the shrimp without the tails this time, which is fine. It's super easy to remove the tail. I've even done this recipe with the shrimp thawed out and just remove the tail before putting it in. And the shrimp take no time to cook at all. So just make sure your shrimp does not get overcooked if your shrimp is already thawed out. I've also put the frozen cooked shrimp in there with the tail and then remove the tail after the pot has cooled. I also like to add a pack of the 90-second microwave rice into this dish. You can put it right in there or you can serve the jambalaya on top of the rice. Either way, it works out perfectly fine. However, I do find that if you add too much rice, it will soak up all that good juice, leaving your jambalaya a little dry. But either way, putting it in or serving the jambalaya on top works out wonderfully. This is one of my favorite Crock-Pot recipes, one of my go-to dishes, and I've never had a complaint. So if you guys try this recipe out, let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on my next one.